Good morning. Well, it's almost noon over here because I really slept in, which is good because I needed that after not sleeping that much last night. It was kind of disappointing because I ended up having to take a painkiller, and I tried to avoid taking painkillers because, well, for several reasons. One, they're really bad for my stomach because they further slow the function of my stomach down, and it's already functioning at a pretty minimal level. And two, I don't respond well to them. I'm actually technically allergic to the painkillers that I take, and I have to combine them with Benadryl in order to be able to tolerate them. I can only do that because I have yet to have difficulty breathing when I take them, so I am not at risk for anaphylaxis quite yet if I don't take the Benadryl in time. For any medications I've had difficulty breathing with, I just don't take them, even with Benadryl. But for my opiates, I can take them sometimes with Benadryl. It just makes me feel really, really gross and really, really nauseous and really, really dizzy, and sometimes I get a rash, and Rudy's just constantly in a tizzy because he's trying to alert to it. But it was disappointing because I had to take it, but the good news was that it helped me sleep, and I slept for like 12 hours so that I can go on an adventure today, as Chronically Jackie would say. But yeah, we'll bring you guys along when we go do some fun stuff later, so I will see you then. I was actually gonna film the video.
You're gonna film the movie.
We're here! We're gonna go see Spider-Man, what is it, the third one? I don't know, this is like the 20th Spider-Man movie, but we're gonna go see the new Spider-Man movie because I love Spider-Man. Going to the movie theater is sort of an experience for me. I have to bring this neck pillow and the sound things because I get migraines from the loud noise, I don't know why. And then I also have to make sure I bring my migraine medication because even with those things, I still might get a migraine. And then I also have to bring my Benadryl because sometimes I react to the smell of something in the movie theater. We don't really know what, but that's just life with allergies. But we're gonna go watch the movie and hopefully have lots of fun. See you later. Hey, I survived the movie, and so did Nate, but Nate doesn't have issues with movies, so that's not surprising. It was really good. It was pretty funny, like most Spider-Man movies, but there's this scene at the end with like a lot of flashing, and that gave me a headache, so I had to take some Advil for it. So if you have anything that's like visually sensitive symptoms, you probably shouldn't see it in theaters, which I wish I would have known, but oh well. It was still a pretty good movie, and I took some Advil, and hopefully that helps. Advil doesn't touch my joint pain, but sometimes it can ease a headache, so I take it anyways. And now we're gonna go try to get some food and see if I can eat it. So I just checked my blood sugar, and it's at 70, which is not super low, but it's kind of low for somebody who just ate like 5 hours ago, I guess. That's just another one of the side effects of having gastroparesis. So Nate's in Five Guys getting me some french fries. If you don't have a Five Guys where you are, I'm sorry, because they are some of the best french fries in the world. But I wanted to talk to you guys about something. Let's talk about accessibility. So I didn't have a placard for most of my life because I wasn't diagnosed and I wasn't really disabled by my conditions yet, and now I have one and I use a wheelchair full time. So this has become more of a pressing issue to me. Handicap accessible areas are for disabled people. This is something that so many people don't seem to get. I was like, the parking is one obvious thing because you see people without placards parking in handicap accessible parking spaces. Sometimes it's the little things where it's not necessarily illegal for them to do it, but it's really frustrating for someone in a wheelchair. So I go to this big movie theater that's an hour away from my house so I can have wheelchair seating. And out of maybe 200 seats in the theater, there are 20 that are wheelchair accessible. Of those 20, there are only, I think, like 5 that have a spot for the wheelchair beside the seat so that you can sit with a friend. And then the rest of them have like several seats next to each other so you can have several friends and sit with them. And I'm very limited in the choices that I have when I go to a movie theater. And today I went to the movie theater and I had one choice because there were easily 15 people sitting in the seats where beside where the wheelchair would go. Had I shown up with literally one other person, I would have had to separate from my group so that I could sit in an accessible seat. I'm not disability shaming anybody. I know there's invisible illnesses out there, but like, I know that at least 3 of those people sitting there weren't disabled because I watched them walk the entire flight of steps to see what seat they preferred and then come back to the handicap seating. If there was even one other person in a wheelchair there today, they would not have had a place to sit with a friend. And that's really sad. You're stealing a seat from someone who has no other choices of where to sit. Like, what am I gonna do if I show up to the theater and there's no place to sit? More than anything, it just makes me really sad that people don't think of that, or if they do think of it, I've heard a lot of people say that it's like, oh, you just get these special privileges because you're disabled, and like, it's not a privilege for me to have the parking space closest to the door or one of the movie seats that are in the middle. It's all that I have access to. I don't have other options. There's just so many things that make it a reason why it's not a privilege. If anything, it's the opposite of a privilege. It's sad that those are the only options I have. I wish the world was more accessible and that there weren't only 3 parking spaces that I can use, but that's just the way it is. That has been your little public service announcement for today, and now I'm going to hopefully eat some food and hopefully get rid of this headache before it turns into a migraine. We're back home and my headache's gone down, but it's still kind of there. I think it was mostly a blood sugar headache, but I think it also had something to do with the lights, which is why some of it's still there. We're cooking some HelloFresh stuff. The fun thing about HelloFresh is that we get new recipes every once in a while, which is good for us because we get to try new things. But the annoying thing is sometimes they have spices that I've never eaten before. Like today they have dill spice for part of the recipe, which is kind of risky for me because of all my allergies. I can develop an allergy to food, or I have allergies that I don't know about. Like the other day with HelloFresh, we found out I'm allergic to tarragon, apparently. I don't really have anaphylaxis when it comes to food, except for red meat, so I'm usually pretty safe, but it's still not too great to have to make a recipe that has something in it that I don't know if I'm allergic to. So we usually just try to minimize the amount that we put in it. We don't put as much as the recipe. And I sniff test it because sometimes my allergies present by just like smelling something. You guys haven't seen a lot of the cuteness today. Oh my goodness, you yawned. That's so cute. That's adorable. You checking? I let him smell my breath because he'll alert if my breath smells like I'm developing an allergic reaction. And I just smelled the dill earlier, so if he starts licking or jumping or whining on me, that usually means that I should take a Benadryl. But here's your adorable puppy for the day. Don't you wish you had one? Mwah! I love my teddy bear. Say hello to the vlog. Hello, vlog. And dinner is served. I think it's dill chicken or something like that.
Creamy dill chicken.
Creamy dill chicken, that's what it's called. You guys, I almost died cooking these chicken breasts because I put too much olive oil in the pan and it was squirting all over me and I got a burn on my finger. But I survived and now I'm gonna try to eat some of it. We shall see how the vegetables settle with my stomach. Okay, babe, tell the people your opinion of the recipe we just ate.
So it was creamy dill chicken and it wasn't that delicious. See what I did there?
What was that?
It wasn't that delicious.
Yeah, so, oh, and excuse the shiny face. I put like ointment on my face to try it out with my headache. But, we didn't really like it that much. I wasn't a big fan of dill flavoring. I'm not really sure if I'm allergic to it. My headache got worse, but it could just have gotten worse because that's what headaches do. Hey guys, I just wanted to show you one of the many facets of EDS because I was in the car today and because of all the issues in my joints, I have propped myself up on a bunch of pillows and 2 heating pads to try to minimize the pain so I don't have to take another like hydrocodone because that really messes up my stomach, and I even have my eyes covered right now because I'm so light sensitive from the migraine that the movie triggered. So I know it might seem like I do a lot of fun stuff in my vlogs sometimes because that's just the part that I capture, but life with chronic illness is really mostly just this, sitting propped up on 6 different pillows. Oh, and this one, 7 different pillows and 2 heating pads just to try to make the pain bearable. So it's impossible to see me because I'm currently sitting in the dark because my headache has definitely turned into a migraine, and I have an abortryptin medication called Zomig that I can take, but I don't like to take it for migraines because it kind of flares up my POTS for some reason and can make my nausea a lot worse, so I avoid it. And then my nausea is already pretty bad. I actually kind of felt like I was about to get sick earlier. So I just feel like crap in general. I pushed myself to go to the movie and to watch that because movies are usually pretty rough on my body. And so I'm just kind of paying for it now. Oh, that's not helping my migraine. So, Rudy, no. Anyways, I'm gonna sign off for today and try to get some rest. I will see you guys tomorrow. Thank you for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe to my channel if you enjoyed this video and like to see more.